Hi everyone, Jaybird here, Jay Bradford from Jaybird's Nest. I was faced with something this week that I've known about for years, but because it wasn't affecting me right at the moment, I kind of forgot about it. And so I've had to grow and adapt because of this situation. And I wanted to share with you how I'm dealing with it in hopes that it may help some of you. I was diagnosed with a heart murmur when I was a kid. Known about it all my life. It comes and goes. Some doctors can hear it, some can't. Not a big deal. Never thought twice about it. Being a nurse, I know what causes it. But at one point during my adult life, I was tested. When I was in my late 20s, I was tested, and everything came back okay. So I really didn't think about it. Well, as some of you may know, this summer I've really been suffering with what I thought was a cold, and then I had pneumonia, and then I thought it was my asthma acting up. And this week at the doctor, I found out in reality that it's my heart murmur. I have a leaky valve in my heart, and because of that, it's much harder for me to get my breath now. So evidently the valve has decompensated. It's leaking more, in other words. So I'm going to have some more testing done. And being a nurse and being a typical nurse, I don't like to go to the hospital. I do not like to go to doctors. I do not like testing, and I do not like taking medicine. However, when prescribed a specific medicine for a specific reason, I take it as directed. I don't argue with them. I do it. I've had high blood pressure since I was 15, been on medication since then, so not a big deal. I don't want to have the testing. One reason is I just don't want to go through it. The second reason is if they find that it's something that needs done, I don't want to go through that. At this stage in my life, I just want to live it out and I'll be fine. I'll watch my blood pressure. I'll watch my salt intake. I'll do all the things I can do without having to go through something like surgery. But even though I've known about this all my life, and even though being a nurse, I know the pros and the cons of it, I had to rationally sit down and talk with someone to help me kind of sort through this and see it from a different perspective. When I came home from the doctor that day, it was Tuesday. I was numb, I guess is the word I want to use. I didn't know what I was feeling. I was overwhelmed. And of course, being a nurse, I know what all the possibilities are, which is fine because then I'm not faced with a big surprise. So if I were not a nurse, this would be really overwhelming for me because knowing how doctors are today, they don't spend a lot of time with you. They don't do a lot of explaining for the most part. And so they're in the back of their mind, they're kind of afraid to tell you all the possibilities because then they're afraid you'll jump to the worst conclusion. I when I got home and I finally kind of settled down, took care of my dogs and everything, put my groceries away and settled down, I got out my journal and I started just writing anything that came to mind, kind of brain dump kind of thing. But mostly what I was feeling about the doctor visit. Put it aside, and then on Wednesday, I picked it up and looked at it again. And I picked out things that I wanted to either discuss with someone or think about more, and I put them on a list. Then I knew someone who would speak with me from a rational standpoint, who also was a nurse, who could give me perspective. And so I called her and we talked about it. Now, even though I'm a nurse, I still jumped to a few conclusions during this, and those were not warranted. Had she not talked with me, I might not have realized that, and I could have made a decision that would not have been in my best interest. Now, am I going to have the testing? Yes, I am. I'm not going to have the real invasive testing. First, I want to have the non-invasive testing, the echocardiogram, before we do anything else. Then we'll talk about other stuff. I want to take this one step at a time because really, for the most part, I am in good health. I mean, yeah, I got a few physical issues, but I feel good. It's hard for me to breathe. The temperatures are, with the heat index, are well over 100 and have been for the last month or more. We're having thunderstorms almost every day, so the humidity is a nightmare. And because of my asthma, yeah, I'm having trouble breathing. So while I'm waiting for the cardiologist that's going to do the test to get back from vacation, which is like, I don't know, he's on a cruise, so I don't know how long it's going to take. Anyway, while I'm waiting, I'm just taking it easy, not overdoing, watching what I eat and drink, doing all the things I would have a patient do in the interim. I encourage you, if for whatever reason you're in overwhelm about a situation, something that you've maybe known about for a while, but all of a sudden, here it is in your face, you got to deal with it. And you don't even know where to start, let alone what to do. Try and put your thoughts on paper. Call it journaling, call it brain dump, call it whatever you want to call it. But put down your thoughts. Then look at them realistically. Try to be realistic. Look at them. And then discuss them with someone you trust, someone that you know will be honest with you and will give you their honest impression about what you're going through. Excuse me, my nose itches. That will help you gain perspective. It will help you step outside of yourself and look inward to see what's going on. The biggest thing you're dealing with, as I always say, is fear. Fear of the unknown, or fear of what you do know could be a possibility. Just fear in general. We all go through it. You're not alone. You're not weird. There's not something wrong with you. This is normal. How we handle that fear is what determines our outcome. If we approach it rationally, realistically, then we can do what's necessary to have the outcome we want. For instance, I don't want to have heart surgery, okay? I don't want to go through that. Not at my age, not ever. Now, because I know that's a possibility, am I going to jump to that conclusion right away and just never go back to the doctor and not have the testing and not do anything? No, I'm not. That's not rational. It's not realistic. It's not in my best interest, and it won't give me the best outcome. If I have the testing, well, I am going to have the testing, but when I have the testing, depending on the outcome of the testing, if the doctor says I have to have heart surgery, then my questions will be, okay, is this something that's urgent that has to be done right away? Or is this something that we can treat medically, non-invasively for a while to see if it will resolve itself like it has in the past? Then, depending on his answer, I will either have the surgery or I won't. Do I want a quality of life? Yes, I do. Do I want to die before it's my time? No, I don't. Do I want to go through the surgery? Hell no, I don't want to go through it. But if it's something I have to do, I'll do it. My point is, talk to someone. That is the most important thing you can do. When you're faced with some sort of dilemma and you're overwhelmed by it and you just don't know what to do, talk to someone you trust. Get their perspective on it. You may be jumping to conclusions that you don't need to be jumping to. They may see something about the situation that you don't see at all that could totally change the outcome in your favor. So this week, whether you're the one facing the dilemma or a friend or relative comes to you, try to be realistic. Try to be real. Be as honest with the person as you can, irrespective of which one you are. And look for the best outcome for you and what you need to do to achieve that outcome. Okay. I hope you have a great week. Jaybird out.